All right, so somebody's asking, why does Orthodox religion automatically equate to Eastern European tech? That with the export, that has to do. It's an exporter thing. I'm not quite sure about the details. I'll have to check. Implemented a new system that I will talk about next session actually, but because it's not complete yet, so we'll have to talk about that some other time. But there's a new system in place, and it has to do with blockading. We'll talk about that next session because I don't know enough about the details yet to actually quantify talking about it. Let's put it that way. Shawnee at the moment, they have 11,000 troops. They're looking to colonize a little bit. Where is their colonist? Interesting location. Oh, I see what you're doing. So right now they are. Denmark is there as well. I see. So right now the Shawnee have a serious problem. The problem is they are behind in technology. So if I go over, they are level 10 administrative, level 9 diplomatic, and level 11 military. However, they need to be 5 technology groups behind people in order to be able to westernize, and that's why now they're going all the way across to Denmark, Tuscany, etc., the free Tuscan states, etc., in order to do all their things. Interesting. It looks like the Confederate States of Tuscany have been released as a nation. So this is now a nation, and it looks like it broke the UI a little bit because the name is way too big. Confederate States of Free Tuscany, an administrative republic, and it looks like our friend Podcat may be looking to switch nations next session. But the real question is this war between East and West going to happen? This massive, massive force that are standing by here, and the Mamelukes, and in the Mughals, and all the way down into Malaya and in Ming, are they gearing up to go against this HRE, well, stronghold in the middle of Europe? Is it going to happen or not? They have the possibility. They're all Muslims, so they will be able to rush through the text quite quickly. Free Tuscany. I think, actually, is Podcat playing as Tuscany? I might take a look here. I don't think he is. No, Podcat's still playing as Tuscany down here. And he's just selling all his territories. He's getting ready to jump over into the free nations of Tuscany. At least the free states of Tuscany. The Confederate States of Free Tuscany, as it is called, and expand his territory there. Slowly but steadily selling as much as he can to the people around him to see whether or not he can actually do anything with that, and get ready for the next session so he can be a force within North America, or at least whatever the hell this continent is supposed to be. But yeah, aside from a major war in Scandinavia, very interesting session so far. And we've talked about quite a lot. We've talked quite a lot about what could be going on. So let's take a look here at the ledger. Military-wise, the largest army in the world so far are the Mughals, immediately followed by Russia, Austria, Ottomans, Poland, Crimea, France. Mughals at 120,000, Russia at 110. The problem with Russia, of course, is they're not Western. Land force limit for the Mughals is 140, so they can even grow more. Austria is significantly higher, still 80,000, with a lot of manpower being available. Ottomans with 69,000 should be able to take on the Austrians quite easily. The main problem, obviously, is Poland, which has a lot of force behind that, and Crimea in there as well. Going down further down the line, Mameluk's coming in with 64,000. Very, very underpowered. Could get 97,000 within the long scheme. And then the HRE nations start coming in with Bohemia, Brandenburg, Aragon. In all honesty, if they wanted to, I think the Muslim nations could do it. I think they could do it. The Sunni nations could, in theory, win in any war. Once again, the main problem, this right here. This gap. The isthmus is a serious problem when it comes to crossing, and that means that we'll need to go all the way through Crimea, and he's currently not here, which causes all sorts of problems. So, in other words, what else do we have? Navy-wise, who's got the biggest navy? Right now it's Venice, followed by Malaya, to be expected. Netherlands with 102 as well. They're all light ships, obviously. Mamelukes with a couple of galleys. Denmark has 16 heavy ships. Malaya has 18. And basically, when you have more heavy ships, you get better points. Speaking of points, we can quickly go through the score comparison here. So far, so good. Ottomans taking the lead. France behind them, then the Mughals, actually. And I wouldn't be surprised if Mughals win the session at large. So Grugi as Aragon at war with Siena. Interesting. Actually, it is last territory, but they're not going to have a very difficult time taking it, to be honest. Oman is requesting military access to Aragon. Interesting. Is Aragon currently still a player nation? It was for a little while, and it doesn't appear to be the case. So that means that Oman is still open as a potential nation that can be played as, which is very useful. So let's take a look here at the rest of the map. Grugi, like I said, at war with Siena. This is not going to last very long. And Pisa being the last port of Tuscany up here. As Tuscany is moving over into the Confederate States of Free Tuscany. Because that is now a thing. Yeah. Somebody in the chat saying Regina is playing as Oman. None of this is... Oh, there's the hole! The hole in Oman! I have still no idea what is causing that, by the way. It looks like it's just a bug that needs to be fixed. But once again, like we always say, nothing in this build is final. Nothing is really is really final, and none of it some of it may not actually make it to the final build of the game. So just FYI. There's a lot of stuff that you see in these sessions. Some of it may actually not make it to the final build of the game. So, a bit slow. We're not seeing all that much going on. A couple of the alliances are so strong. Austria, Bohemia, Aragon, and Poland, and Brandenburg are all allied. Incredibly powerful. The Hanseatic League is by themselves. France, Netherlands together with Spain and France. Denmark still having a significant force, and they pretty much need to rebuild that right now. They've got low prestige. They got a decent manpower pool. Just no army to speak of. Yeah, down, well, 41,000, but it's not going to be enough versus the massive onslaught. The main thing is, actually, Portugal is getting a lot of money. Is getting 19 ducats a month from a trade. As wow, that's actually quite. That's they get 13 from Nova Lusitania, which is their colonial nation down here in this thing, down in New England. We could call it, I guess. Shawnee still can westernize. All right, so the Shawnee can westernize. They're westernizing. All right, just as we said. They have zero legitimacy. They're westernizing, and right now we're looking at April 1610. That's 14 years of westernization right now. What is causing that westernization bonus? All right, so it costs them 30 points a month. They got 999 a month at the moment, and it's looking really good. They could actually do this fairly quickly. What sort of ruler do they have? A 444. King Wei Tai Iwagnite. No idea what that means, but I'm sure it has something interesting. Got a couple of country modifiers here, but they are definitely westernizing, and that could cause them to be a major force on this island here, and maybe even doing a little bit here versus the Creek. Who knows? However, having this colony here has helped them significantly with the Confederate Free States of Tuscany. Give it up to Podcat, bringing Victoria to terminology into EU4. But it's looking very good for them. And I'm very happy for Shawnee because they were playing as Lithuania before up here and they got completely crushed by the Polish and the Swedes. So it's something you want to keep your eyes out. Mamelukes are at war versus Ethiopia for the conquest of Gondar. Ethiopia has finally said, "You shall not pass. Gondar is ours." And they have pretty much given the middle finger to the Aragonians and said, "Ha ha, we will take this." And there's nothing you can do about it, of course, unless they immediately sell it to the Aragonese and then slap them in the face because that's what they deserve. Oh, those silly Aragonese. We're currently gearing towards the end of the session. It is 5:30 here local. As, we're pretty much getting towards the end of the day. As all the we've played about we've played about 30 years. It is currently 1597. I'm quickly gonna head over and see when we're gonna be stopping this particular session. Spoima has a couple of national decisions, has a couple of policies available, and they actually have the weapon quality standards up. Why they have that at the moment is a little bit beyond me. They should probably turn that off because they have only +7 monthly increase, and this is kind of draining their policies, or at least their administrative power. And like I said, it's a new functionality you want to keep your eye on in regards of that, because the policy system does drain your monarch points and allows you to get a lot of really cool things. And so we're going to be playing for another 7 minutes, and that'll be the end of the day. Meanwhile, the Shawnee westernizing rapidly, still as their totemism religion. Did they actually fix that? That's actually a good question. Did the religion stuff get fixed? Yes, it did. Okay. We had a minor bug in the last build where religion was actually all the icons were jumped because we're adding a couple of new religions for the expansion, and basically that changes the ideas. The numbers that we allocate to every single religion, so it means it jumps one. Fun story, actually. It was something similar happened in CK2 at one point where we added new traits to the game, and basically we had to jump IDs for traits in the game. Basically what happened was, I think we added, I can't remember what it was, but basically it turned one trait into another. So I think it turned humble into having syphilis, and basically it got rolled out into the beta, and basically every single person of the royal family in the Byzantium Empire got syphilis. That is now a thing. Fun stories from the development floor. Anyway, it's not as bad as the time that people kept on killing every single person over the age of 16 in Europe in CK2, where there was a small event called the Kitten event, which was broken, so it would fire every month, where basically what would happen was there were two choices: either you got maimed or you got 100 prestige. Now if you get maimed twice in CK2, your character dies. Now this event also fired for NPCs, basically causing every single person in Europe to be maimed twice. Now the event only fires for adults, therefore everybody below 16 lived.